morning I was driving to church and then I noticed something strange. This white car in front of me. The car is driving so slow. It doesn't look to be in some sort of damage or anything, but it was driving right in the middle of the road. I mean, 3 lanes, it's in the middle. So it's like blocking everybody in a sense. And then I was watching this car and I noticed something strange with the car. Hey, why is it so slow? And then I looked at the tire. Bun, yeah. Tire is bun, right? Okay, yeah, correct. Just in case, you know. The right front tire, somehow, it's bengkok. It's skewed, bent, thank you. Okay, yeah, bent. It's bent, and what's going on? It's like, it looks weird, right? I mean, I never saw the car like that before. I don't know whether he'd buy it like that. I mean, it's just I want a skewed car. I mean, I want a bent car, but probably, I know, the guy just had a car trouble, tire trouble, and it's misaligned or something. And so it's like, oh, okay, this car is weird. And then I noticed that, you know, but it's working, it's going, it's driving in the road, and it looks fine. It's so slow. And then I just, God, this morning I've been looking for something to say at the beginning of the sermon. Thank you for giving me that. So, so here's my point, okay? Here's my point. When I look at the car, because I had another thing to say, but I think this stops it. So anyway, so it's like this, you know, in our lives, we are walking, right? We are living life. We are journeying through life. We're doing okay, right? I mean, most of the time, by God's grace, most of the time we don't experience like big musibah, big tragedies, right? We don't experience big pain, sufferings, only 1 or 2. But most of the time, it's just life, right? It's just life. It's just life. Day in, day out, grinding through the jobs, work, family, whatever it is. We walk, we are driving, we are going somewhere. But maybe some of us might feel right now, it's like that car. Everything is going fine. Everything looks okay. But it's not really okay. Something is bad in our heart. You might be feeling tired. You might be feeling stuck. I've been doing this for many, many years. It doesn't get me anywhere. The small frustrations, the little challenges, the many hurdles. And that accumulates, and kind of make you, Lord, when can I get done with this? And you find it's never done. It's never over. You just have to persevere and on and on and on. Maybe you feel frustrated this morning and just feel like, you know, this is me, this is life. I can't do, yeah, there's God, there's church, there's fellowship, but yeah, it's just good. It's just good enough, right? Just good enough. But the thing is, in the Bible, God calls us not to just be good enough. God calls us to be saints. Not just to be good enough, just living life that way. He wants us to experience life abundantly, life full, life enjoying Him, overcoming obstacles, showing Him in the midst of our pain, broken hearts, and disappointments. How do we do that? The small things. See, in the book of Corinthians, you know that church has a lot of problems, right? Just like our lives, a lot of problems. Maybe small, but along the years, it accumulates. Corinthians have a lot of problems, and if I'm Paul, or if I'm the pastor over there, I'm going to be, you know, frustrated, I'm going to be overwhelmed, so many issues to be answered with. And how does Paul try to tackle that? Obviously, he gives so many advices along the whole book of Corinthians, but at the end, finally, he's almost over with all of his, you know, treatise, and he is summarizing. He's giving us, actually he's giving the Corinthian church short, concise advice. Usually in the church you get long answers, right? You get doctrines. Now, today, thank God, maybe good for you, so finally, I'm going to give you something short, concise. Paul is summarizing all the things that he has said so that the Corinthian church can walk in a healthier path, so that we too will be able to overcome all the obstacles, all the little hindrances, all the frustrations that are coming our ways. Okay? So let's open our Bibles to 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 13 and 14. Every fourth week, we are continuing in our exposition to the first book of 1 Corinthians, and that's where we are today. 1 Korintus 16, 13 sampai 14. Thank you so much. I have it up there. Right. 1 Korintus 16, 13 sampai 14. Can we just read together? Short 2 verses. 1 Corinthians 16, 13 to 14 in 3, 2, 1.
Be watchful, stand firm in the faith, and act like men, be strong. Let all that you do
Be done in love. Amen, amen. So let's take apart this verse together. What did Paul say to the Corinthian church full of trouble? How did he summarize all the issues? How did he summarize all the issues in our life? Number 1, he says, be watchful. Berjaga-jagalah. Be watchful. That word literally means be alert. Don't sleep. Wake up. Stand strong. Look. It's often used in connection with the second coming of the Lord. Christ is coming soon, so make sure you got your life straight. Make sure you clean up your mess. Be alert. Now, the Corinthians the Corinthians need to be guarding their hearts. They need to be guarding their lives because they've been influenced by the society, right? They've been influenced by Greco-Roman values. They've been influenced, for instance, with the importance of status more than fellowship. They've been influenced by sexual immorality. They've been influenced by idolatry. They've been influenced by greed and all of that. So Paul is saying, hey, you gotta be watchful, be alert on those values. Be alert on those values. Keep guard your values, your faith, your principles. One time, I think it's about 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning, I was at my apartment. This is back in the US. And my roommate woke me up. Edo, wake up, wake up. What? I was like, what's going on? Someone is here. I know it's you. It's you. I mean, you are someone. No. Someone is at the living room. Whoa. Surprise. What's going on? There's a stranger in the house. Whoa. Stephen King's novel. No. Stranger in the house. What's going on? It turns out, so this is a story, okay? Turns out my roommate was sleeping, he's sleeping in the living room, okay? And then he was like half awake in the morning. He found a guy sitting on his seat right beside him. Like, who are you? And he's just looking at him. And then he asked, oh, dude, who are you? Well, how did you get in, right? Who are you? And the guy just said, I don't know, but David let me in. Something like that. I forgot the name. But he mentioned a name. I forgot the name. And just spontaneously, just no offense to David. just, I don't know, but David let me in. David let me in. It's just like, there's no David in this house. I mean, just Torio and Edo. I mean, there's no David in the house, okay? It's just like, who's David? I don't know. David let me in. David let me in. You just keep repeating the same words. So it's like, this guy must be high, right?
Yeah.
It was like, he woke me up. It's like, hey, what should we do? So we asked him, so what's your name? Why are you here? And then we tried to be like, it's just, it's just like, just dazed, okay? It's like, David let me in. David let me in. So we called the security, and the security guy took him away. So it's like, oh, what was that? I mean, that's one of the creepiest experiences that we've ever had. I mean, in spite of the guard, right? It is an apartment complex. We do have locked doors. We do have locked gate. We do have, well, probably that night, one of them might forget to lock the door. But that's why he got in. But the thing is, before he's supposed to walk into our apartment, there's multiple guards, right? Just like in Buckingham Palace. There's an episode back in, I think back in what, 1960s, isn't it? A guy basically walked into the Queen's bedroom, right? Talk to talk to the queen for 10 minutes. So he broke through and was speaking to the queen. Despite all this, yes, nice looking guards, right? So it's like, but it happened. People can break through our guard. And this episode got me thinking like this. How about your guard in your life? Some of us have good guards from the outside. Like we got the fancy job. We got the fancy car. We got the fancy house. We got the Instagram perfect family. That's the guard, right? That's our guards, right? I mean, it looks good on the outside. You see what I'm saying? That's the guard. That's the guard. Everything is good, man. No, of course that family is doing fine. Look at all the beautiful children. That family is good. Look at all the deals that the husband made. This is going to be successful, right? All the guards that we see on the outside. But if people were to see inside, if people were to come inside into our homes, ask the children, ask people closest to us, maybe just like a broken down CCTV, maybe our security system is not working properly. It's like putting up a sign in front of your house, beware of dogs. There are actually no dogs. Unless it's my house. We have lots of dogs. So, beware of dog, yes, there are dogs. So, the difference is some you can play, some you don't want to play with. So, see, the point I'm still trying to say to you is that in one unguarded moment, you and I can make decisions that we might regret. In one unguarded moment, you and I can sell our marriage on the river. In one unguarded moment, we can do something in our business that might compromise our values. If we don't guard our hearts, how easy it is for us to choose the world over God. It just takes one, isn't it? It just takes one. You see, when your kids come back at home, yeah, everything is fine. They're giving me all the good grades. The teachers never complain. They look so happy. They have so many friends. You never ask the questions. And then one day you get a phone call. Hey, something bad happened. In one unguarded moment, things can change. So, how are you doing about it? I think we need to be alert, isn't it? We need to be honest with God. That we say that, God, I can be at most vulnerable when I am unaware of how vulnerable I am. We need to be aware. Tuhan, saya paling rentan pada saat saya merasa saya nggak rentan. Lord, I am the most fragile when I think I've got it all together. When in fact, sin, the devil, the world can just creep into the doors of our lives and take away those that are most precious to us. If we don't guard our heart, our lives, our family, our workplace, our church, and the people that is closest to us. So, Paul says to them and to us, be watchful, on guard. Secondly, Paul says, stand firm in the faith. Okay? Means be constant. Okay? Be constant. Belum. Be constant and reliable in your faith despite challenges. Okay? So to stand firm means like this. To stand firm is you don't run away. Okay? You stand your ground. You hold your ground. You don't surrender. You don't run away. You move on. You go on. Okay? And stand firm in the faith means not only you hold to those precious doctrines that you know, those precious truths, like Jesus is God, the Bible is the Word of God, sin is destructive, sin is real, hell is real. Not only you hold firm in that truth, but also you are living of that truth. You are living consistent to those truths, those values. Stand firm, be strong, hold your ground, Paul says. I've been reading, I don't know, maybe in the past 2 years, 3 years. Sometimes I like to read business management books. non-fiction psychology books, and I'm kind of into the science of excellence. Okay, the science of excellence, and how do people achieve and things like that. And I begin to notice some things. In most of the best, highly critical acclaimed books about business and human performance, there's one organization, one organization that's always mentioned, always highlighted, selalu disebutkan di buku-buku ini. And it's not Google, it's not Apple, okay? It's not it's not those big companies. Of course, obviously they've been mentioned Southwest or repeatedly. It's very so famous. But there's one organization that's always mentioned, known for the way to produce people that are high achievers and work well in teams. And that organization is the U.S. Navy SEALs. The U.S. Navy SEALs. They are so efficient in helping people, stand firm, be strong. Now, probably you've known this from the movies or you've read this before, but they've got what's called a Hell Week, right? Now you can show it. Sorry. Hell Week looks like this. So Hell Week, it consists of 5.5 days of cold, wet, brutal, difficult training. Okay? I mean, it's just, harsh training where they will get less than 4 hours of sleep. Less than 4 hours of sleep. And above all, it's not just a physical test, it is a test of determination, of passion, of mental toughness. And on average, only 20 to 25% of the candidates make it through the Hell Week. The toughest, they say, is the toughest training in the US military. So I'm wondering if you do know some Navy SEAL, it would be cool to ask him to share. So, what's inside the Hell Week? Let me just give you a quick overview, okay, so you'll know. So Hell Week, they will be, number one, they'll be constantly moving, okay? They'll be constantly running, swimming, paddling, carrying boats on their heads, doing sit-ups, push-ups, rolling in the sand, slogging through the mud. They'll be always doing something. Meanwhile, while doing all of that, they'll be given an operation, a project, some sort of a duty, a task to do. And they've got to make decisions, they've got to do teamwork, they've got to lead, they've got to think. All in a condition of what? Sleep-deprived, tired. Some of them have hypothermia, some of them even hallucinate. Just a harsh environment. And remember, they are all doing this. Next picture is okay. All doing this in the sand. You've got bruise. You've got the salt water. Inside of you. It's obviously pain, right? It's obviously it stings. It's and all of those painful salt water makes your cuts burn, basically, right? And while they do get a lot of food to eat, obviously because it's such a tough ordeal, right? They ate a lot. But some of them are so fatigued that they fall asleep while they're eating. It's just like this. And while they're paddling the boat, you're in the boat and trying to get some, they'll just slip and fall down in the boat. So teamwork is important. Okay, that's how harsh that training are, and not only that, the instructors they make their lives hell. Right? They'll just shout at them, they'll berate them, they'll say things about, I don't know, what they don't like and things like that. They just basically ask them to quit. You can't do this, quit. You are weak, you're basically, that's what they're saying. Okay. But they also make it easy for them to quit. Because if you cannot continue, all you have to do is just go to the nearest, they will provide a bell, the golden bell, right? And then just ring the bell to signal, I quit. I think that's kind of easy because if you do it in the Indonesian way, it's too long. Pak, saya mau bicara dulu Pak ya. I mean, when you have to be very sungkan, right? You have to be very polite and say, I mean, I quit. I mean, but aku sungkan gak enak gitu. Don't feel like it, right? You should be very mild and very polite, right? But they are making it very easy. I can't do it anymore. Let me find the nearest bell, the launching, right? And then just bang bong, right? And then they would sit down, and then they'll give you donuts and coffee, while looking all your miserable friends being tortured. So, so that's how they do it. That's how they do it. Just basically just go to break down the mental. So, but those who made it, and this is what I want to tell you, those who made it, they feel that this is the greatest achievement in their lives. They will come to a realization that they can do 20 times more than they ever thought possible. The training just, like really digs into their potential and let it out. Okay? It is a defining moment for them because they will feel after they pass, they will feel, I will never quit on anything. I will never betray my teammate. I can do this. Nothing is impossible for me. And that's what makes the Navy SEALs of the United States such a fearsome, tactical unit. And another question for us is obviously, hey, how can I, not how can I apply, no. The question for us is, what made some of them made it, right? What is the recipe of success? Now obviously they've done so many studies, and they've got a lot of factors, going on, but there's one thing, in all of the studies, there's a repeatedly mentioned, okay, as in the things that keep them going is this: positive self-talk. So basically, telling yourself, I can do this. I'm not going to give up. I can go one more step. I can do that. Those who fail will say to themselves, I cannot do this. I quit. This is too much. Forget it. Okay? Turns out that when those words are positive, they have a huge effect on our mental toughness. The ability to keep going. In short, what happened with the Navy SEALs graduates is simply that listen to me, their stories were stronger than their bodies. Their stories that they keep telling themselves were stronger than their bodies. Now with that, I ponder upon our text today. Stand firm in the faith. When we are weak, do you know the story of Christianity? Do you know the story of your faith? What are you telling yourself? Now, unlike the Navy SEALs, we don't get up in the morning, look at the mirror and says, you are so handsome. No. Ganteng banget, you can do this, you can do this. No, you don't do that, right? That's the secular version, right? No. That's not what I'm telling you, okay? That's not what I'm teaching you. Please make no mistake. I'm just taking what is positive about that research and applying it theologically, okay? No, you don't say, you are so good, you are awesome, you are ganteng. Thank you. But, no, you don't say about you, you say, positive self-talk means you said things true about God. God is good. God is patient. God is faithful. He knows my name. He knows me. He cares for me. He is my shepherd. I shall not want. You don't talk about truth about you. Maybe you can, but that's not the first priority. First priority is talk truths about God as you go through the difficult situations, the obstacles, the burdens in your life. Look in the mirror and see Christ. Look at your heart and see and find God, and said to Him over and over again to your soul, like David, awake, O my soul. Why are you so downcast, O my soul? Believe in God, trust in God, right? Believe in God. So the more you learn, the more you go to church, the more you go to read your Bible, it's actually, God is giving us ammunitions, positive ammunitions, to say out loud the truths about who God is. Say it to Him, and I will command, I will encourage you to have a balanced view of God. Not just God is good, God is faithful, God is kind, we know that. But also say, God is holy, God is glorious, God is big. You are not the center of the universe, God is the center of your universe. See, sometimes we are so off, we like this part, kindness, love, patience, that's all good, but in my experience it's not enough. Because when you say God is kind, but the word is not kind, then how do you connect that? When you say God is kind, yet God is wise. And then, okay, I may not understand this, but my God is wiser than me. I can go through this. See? So say the truth about God according to what the Bible has teach you, not according to what you want. Okay? Third one. It's actually one, in the Greek, it's actually one, convey one idea. So be watchful, number one. Secondly, stand firm in the faith, so not just in anything, right? In the faith about God. Third one, act like men, be strong. Act like men, be strong. Now, Paul does not mean by saying, you act like men. He's not saying to the ladies that, you become a man, no. He's saying, it might be more accurate to say, be adults. Okay? Be adults. Don't be immature. Put away your immaturity, because those immaturity has led to so many problems. Put those away. You have got something to do. You have a role you need to accomplish. Go out there, do your duty. Courage. Have courage. Remember, you have a responsibility. I haven't shared this before, but I would like to share it with you right now about some of my struggles when I first joined, or God called me to this church. Okay, God called me into iREC about 2 years ago. Yeah, about 2 years ago. About 2 years and a month now, roughly speaking. And I'm followed by Mr. Dave. Not so long after. Anyway, when I first came in, okay, I thought, this is a new experience for me, okay, in Indonesia. I've never served in Indonesia before. I've only been, I've never do ministry. Sorry, serve makes sound like I'm in an army or something. Do ministry in Indonesia before. I do ministry in the U.S., so I have no experience. So when I'm here, I expected to be following the leadership of the former. Pastor here. I mean, the former campus pastor, okay? Ibu Novi and Pak Heiko. I was expecting, because I'm like a newbie, right? And I look like one. So I would just want to follow along the experienced pastors. I don't want to make, just because I'm the type of guy that I'm very, very conscious of who I am. I'm not going to say, oh, lulusan Amerika nih, keren nih, jago nih, berubah sekarang. No, I'm not like that at all. I mean, I don't know anything about Surabaya. I want to learn. So I followed her along. And I'm expecting that, okay, maybe another year I'll be doing something on my own. But then, some of you who've been long here know that in 3 months, Ibu Novi took a cuti hamil, leave, maternity leave. And she was on a break for a year. So it's like, oh, okay. So what's going on? So Pak Jacob, who's gonna preach and all of those? Oh, you. Okay. So it's like, so you do it. You become the campus pastor. Oh, and by the way, and so not only you're the campus pastor, and by the way, please start the English ministry soon. So it's like, okay, so it's a new English ministry, and becoming a kind of a lead pastor. I mean, local lead pastor. And third one is just I'm still adapting to Indonesia, because what, I've been away from this country total almost 13 years. If you add Singapore, because after I finished junior high school, I went to Singapore. Almost 13 years. So it's different with other people and all of that. I need to adapt. but within 3 months of my assignment here, it's like so many duties and beyond my expectation, beyond what I know I'm capable of. and a new ministry. Although it was fun. It's the first time I met with James and with Dave and all, and some of you are been here for a while. But what the reason I'm telling you is this: there are days, weeks, months when I felt that I cannot go out of the bed this morning. Just too much. There's too many challenges. One is okay. I mean, campus pastor, okay. English University, okay. Adapting Indonesia, okay. But there's three things at the same time. And then I'm also teaching at the Bible school staff as well. It's like, oh, eschatology lagi. Waduh, pengajarnya dokter akhir zaman lagi. It's like, wow, okay, God is like, okay. And who are my students? Are they like high schoolers, middle school? They're like, serious gentlemen and ladies who really want to learn theology. It's like, okay. So I've got 4 things going on. And my first year or so, the first half a year, like, oh God, why can't you make it just one by one? It's just all so. Anyway, so I felt that's too much, just weighing down my soul. And one of the things that kind of helped me to act like men, be strong, is simply this: God has called me to this place. I've got a responsibility here. People are looking up to me, even though I know I'm not completely qualified or I'm not totally know sometimes what I'm doing. I've got responsibility. I've got to stand up. Even if I'm not perfect, even if I don't do it well, I will try my best by God's grace. And that's what I'm doing. And I think that's what Paul is also telling us here. But in the context of Corinthians, it's kind of weird, because in Corinthians itself, they are acting like men. They are brave, but they are brave at the wrong things. They are brave in fighting their fellow brothers and sisters in Christ. They are having division and things like that. And I think those are the wrong direction of courage. But the point I'm trying to say here with our third point is simply that God has called us here. Remember that. Whatever struggles, challenges, burdens that you might be carrying today, remember that. Saudara punya tanggung jawab. Saudara punya pekerjaan, tugas. You've got a role to play. And nobody can do it but you at this time. Stand up. Don't give up. Look up to God. Trust. Move on. Even if you mess up, trust God that He can help you out. Act like men. Be strong. And finally, let all that you do be done in love. So all these 4 commandments they employ military sense, okay? On guard, stand firm, stay strong. Those are military sense. Now, which kind of encourage we have to be strong, resolute in our faith. Now, here Paul is trying to balance that out, okay, with love. Yes, you must be strong. Yes, you must stand firm. Yes, you must go on. But you must be strong in the right way. And what is that right way? In love. Be strong in love. Strong but loving. Because love without strength is just sentiments. Strength without love is tyranny. Right? So do it with love. Especially to other people, especially to your fellow Christians, especially to your fellow church members. Now, Jesus gave us 2 commandments, right? The two most important commandments. And those are love of God and love of others, love to others, right? Now, let's try to look at that real quick. Love to God. I want to love God. Don't you? Right? All of us, we want to love God more, right? Who will not love God more? We want to love God more. Siapa, kenapa enggak? Begitu ya. We want to love God more. So, maybe that's okay. But let's move on. Love others. Would you like to love others? I think so. I think we would like to love others. And because why? Well, because some people are kind to us, right? Some people are good looking and I want to know him, right? So it's easy. Sometimes it can be easy, it can be okay to love others. They're good to me, so I want to be good to them. But as you know, not many people are good to you. Some people are just plain bad, right? just sometimes mess your life and just do things that hurt you, say things that violate you, and you begin to wonder. And people have asked me about this many times. Christians, you need to love, right? But how about those that hurt you? How should we love? Should we still love the people that hurt us, people that disagree with us, people that is, basically dislike us? I have one simple illustration. Just a simple story, okay? Just as a closing. A couple of years ago, I like this girl. Well, I like many girls. Anyway, so I described her. I was sharing with my with my professor actually, because I was quite close. Yes, she is the most Jesus-like person. Wow. Yes, paling seperti Yesus. So the most Jesus-like person I've ever known. Wow. So I'm trying to obviously win her hearts by multiple attempts. Okay. By multiple attempts, but it wasn't it wasn't successful enough. The more I get close to her, the more she go away. It's like nggak mempan gitu, mental. Yeah, I don't know what mental is, but basically my effort has not been met with what I wanted to get. So in those times, what I do is that, Lord, what should I do? And I'm very naive in this time, very simple-minded person. I always try to look at the Bible, because I don't believe in my heart. So, well, what should I do? Okay, you said something. Okay, no, that's not you. That's the neighbor across the room. So I'm always trying to find something in the Bible, okay, to help me guide my path, what to do. Now, I'm not. But when I say I look in the Bible, I'm not the type that's like just open randomly. That's the word of God. No, that's not me, okay? I'm not that simplistic. It's because I know some words just don't apply. I mean, if you open, Judas hang himself. I mean, it's like, okay, God, you want me to hang myself? That's bad, right? No. So I'm not that kind of person, okay? But I just do it very simple. What is the verse of the day? Just I use that kind of like the verse of the day. So one verse of the day, and when I read that verse, I know what to do. You want to know what verse? You might be wondering. I see your face like, oh, what is that? What is that? I want to keep the suspense. Okay, it's enough. Okay, next one. This is the verse. So this is what I got from him the other day. Thank you very much. This is the verse that I got at that day. I forgot exactly when. But if you love those who love you, what benefit is that to you? For even sinners love those who love them. So when I read that, this is how I interpret God. And sometimes this is what it makes you get in trouble. Anyway, so I interpret God. He's saying to me, hey, see, okay, God, thank you so much for this verse. You are reminding me to keep loving her. Because no matter her treatments, no matter what she said or she did, I will keep loving her. Because that's what love is. That's the first part. That's the first interpretation. The second interpretation is, I understand why you are giving me this verse, Lord. You want me to keep trying. Because one day, if I don't give up, that icy heart will melt. So that's my second interpretation. See, I can tell you now that I try to think back, that's bad hermeneutics. Okay, that's just bad interpretation. I mean, the first interpretation is good, right? The first interpretation is right. I mean, exactly, God wants us to teach. God wants to teach me, hey, if you just love those who are kind to you, dude, that's not love, right? True love means loving the difficult. Loving those who cannot love you back. That's what true love is. Why? Because God is the kind of God that died for His enemies. That's our God. That's Jesus Christ. He doesn't die for the easy people. He doesn't die for the lovable people, the cute bubbly people. No. He died for the rebels. He died for the criminals. He died for the people who doesn't even deserve Him in the first place. So God is telling to me, hey, I'm going to teach you how to love. I'm going to teach you how to love. this is how you love. Love like me. But the second interpretation is wrong. I mean, obviously after that, when I read this verse, I kept trying my best, holding on to God's truth, loving her to my utmost best, and I adapt my strategy. I change my method. I regain my confidence. I do it again. I try it again. And you know what? Ditolak. I'm sorry, ditolak means got rejected. Okay, so it just didn't work. But the point of this is, God is teaching me how to love, and I hope that God is teaching you how. That's love. True love means you love the difficult ones. You see, you love the difficult ones. And at the end of that verse, at the conclusion of that verse is verse 35. But love your enemies and do good and lend, expecting nothing in return, and your reward will be great, and you will be sons of the Most High, for He is kind to the ungrateful and the love. So God is kind of telling me, or telling us today, hopefully, in short, yes, our love might not change people, but our love will change us. Amen? You might not change people, because let me tell you right now, at least from my experience of ministry, I know it's not been too long, I believe very strongly that you cannot change people. Only God can change people. But if you don't love them, it will make it harder for them to see Jesus in you. So keep loving. Love everybody always. Even if it doesn't change them, it will surely change you. And I want to close with what Mother Teresa said one time. I just like it so much. She said like this: I have found the paradox. I have found the paradox that if you love until it hurts, there can be no more hurt, only more love. Love is a funny thing, isn't it? The more you use, the more you have. Unlike money. Money, the more you use, the more you don't have, right? Willpower, the more you use, the more you get tired. But love is not like that. Just ask the parents. When your second son or your second daughter is born, is your love getting less? No, right? Somehow, you have extra love. Even, it's not like, now second, okay, I'm going to love you less because that's all the love I have. No. Love is, the more you love, the more you have. The more you persist in love, the more you will have love. Creatively, strongly, consistently, reliably. So, to sum up all of these things, there's these 4 commandments. What is Paul telling the Corinthian church? I think it's what Paul is telling telling them. And telling us today is very simple. Here's what Paul is telling us today. You and I, cannot just drift along in the Christian life. We cannot just be passive. We have to hold on to God, pursue Him again, and work on our relationship with Him. You see, if you think about it, all of us, every single day, we want to get better, right? With regards to our health, we go to the gym, or we eat good, healthy stuff. We want to be better physically, right? With regards to our jobs, we go to training, we go to seminar, we burn the midnight oil. We want to add out to our finances, right? We want to diversify our portfolio. We want to get more wealthy, and it's not wrong, right? It's not wrong to get. We want to be richer, material, have more things in life. With regards to what? With regards to emotions, with regards to our relationships, we want to get better, right? We invest in our children's time, we invest in our spouses' projects, we invest in holidays. We want to get better at relationships with others. We even want to get better with our, our intelligence as well. We read books, we look online, sometimes we find those impossible deals, Christmas deals, right? We're so smart with all of those deals. But in almost every area of life, we want to get better. And it's normal. It's an irony if we don't want to get better at our spiritual life. That's what I'm saying. Because I know it's so easy, and it's so common, and so just what everybody does, to focus on getting better at the worldly values. But have you stopped and wondered where I am on that? spiritual life. Sudahkah saudara dan saya betul-betul kembali kepada Tuhan? So I think if I can sum up my whole message today, it's simply this. Pursue God again. Kejar Tuhan lagi. Pursue God again. Please, please, please pay attention to your spiritual life. And as I said yesterday in our small group in the morning, pelayan sibuk dengan Tuhan tidak selalu dekat dengan Tuhan. Busy with God as in ministry, going to church, going to Bible studies, seminars. Busy with God doesn't equal to intimate with God. You've got to know the difference. You've got to know the difference and work with your heart and ask the Lord honestly, openly, Lord, I want to know you more. Just as you are. I don't care what, it's okay, whatever you say, I'll accept it. And here's the good news. The God that you pursue is the God that has pursued you. The God that you are looking for is the God that has been looking for you. The God that you want is the God that has achieved victory so that you are His forever. So, church, pursue God again. Let's pray.